All right, let's dig in, shall we? Today we're talking about something super important, but honestly pretty misunderstood when it comes to keeping plants happy: succulent soil. We're going to break down the perfect soil mix, drawing on some fantastic advice from Valerio Barbone to help you finally get what your plants are trying to tell you. Let's do this.
Does this sound familiar? You find the perfect sunny spot for your succulent, you're so careful not to overwater it, and somehow it just gives up on you. Ugh, it's the most frustrating feeling, right? It's a question that honestly haunts every succulent owner. You feel like you're doing everything by the book, but something is just off.
Well, here's the secret. The key to a truly happy succulent isn't just about what's going on above the ground, it's all about what's happening underneath. The entire foundation for a healthy plant, it's the soil it lives in.
So, what actually makes the perfect home for your succulent roots? You know, it really just comes down to two golden rules. If you can get these right, you'll beat the #1 killer of all succulents, the dreaded root rot. And here they are: lightness and permeability. Okay, so first up, lightness. Your soil has to be light enough for those little roots to grow out fast and strong, to push through the soil without a fight. And second, permeability. This one is all about drainage. A permeable mix lets water flow right through so it doesn't just sit there and suffocate the roots, causing rot. Seriously, these two things are the foundation for everything else we're about to do.
All right, so now that we know the why, let's get to know the what. It's time to introduce the main ingredients. Think of them as the cast of characters that are going to form the basis for all of our soil recipes. These are the building blocks for success.
Kicking things off, we've got two volcanic powerhouses, lapilli and pumice. Now, both of them are born from explosive volcanic eruptions, but what's really cool is how they end up so different. Lapilli comes from magma that has less silica, which gives it fewer but bigger air pockets. Pumice, on the other hand, comes from higher silica magma, so it ends up with this really fine, almost honeycomb-like structure. Both are just fantastic for creating that drainage and airflow we need. Next up, meet zeolite. This stuff is a total game changer. Its internal structure is incredibly open and porous, with these tiny little channels that are molecular in size. This gives it something called a high cationic exchange ability. So what does that mean? Basically, it acts like a magnet. It grabs onto essential nutrients and then releases them to the roots as the plant needs them. It's like having a little built-in nutrient dispenser right in the soil. And our last key ingredient is perlite. And you've got to hear how this stuff is made. It's wild. It starts out as this specific kind of volcanic rock. Then they pop it in a furnace and heat it up to almost 1,000 degrees Celsius. The water trapped inside the rock flashes into vapor and pop. It expands the whole particle up to 20 times its original size. It's basically geological popcorn. And what you're left with is this incredibly lightweight, sterile material that's just full of tiny air pockets, perfect for keeping soil fluffy and airy.
Okay, we've met our building blocks. Now it's time to be the architects. Let's look at how to combine these ingredients into 4 different, proven formulas for different kinds of succulents. Think of these as your blueprints for success.
First up, we have a classic mix for most cacti. And just look at this. It's almost entirely made of our volcanic rocks. A full 90% of this mix is built for maximum drainage. This creates that super fast draining, arid environment that cacti absolutely love, with just a tiny bit of organic stuff in there. Now, the trade-off for having such amazing drainage is that the mix is pretty low on nutrients. This just means you'll need to remember to fertilize or completely replace the soil after about a year. Oh, and here's a fantastic pro tip. For certain cacti that love calcium, like astrophytum, you can just add about 5% of a calcium source like gypsum. They'll thank you for it.
Now let's switch gears. For our non-cactus succulents, like your echeverias or sedums, the recipe changes a lot. Look at that organic slice. It jumps all the way up to 30%, balancing out the volcanic rocks, and we're also adding a little bit of river sand into the mix here.
This just shows you perfectly how we're balancing those two golden rules with what the plant actually needs. We're keeping the great drainage, but we're seriously upping the nutrient game. That bigger organic part provides all the essential nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium that these succulents crave, which is way more than a typical cactus needs. Okay, time to get specialized. For plants like lithops, the famous living stones, we need to try and copy their very unique natural home. And this mix, it's completely different. Just notice the huge amount of sand and silicate-based ingredients. That's really the secret to making them happy.
This mix is designed from the ground up to be low in nutrients but super rich in silica, just like their native soil. It's actually heavier and a little less permeable than our other mixes, which is exactly what these specific plants need. I mean, with 45% of the entire mix being quartzite and pebbles, we are truly giving them a little slice of home.
And for our final recipe, let's talk about Hoya. They often get grouped in with succulents, but their needs are pretty unique. And right away, you can probably spot the new player here. Our popcorn rock, perlite, makes a big appearance in this mix.
So why perlite? Well, Hoya plants need a balanced diet, but they need it in an exceptionally soft and lightweight soil. That is where perlite becomes the star of the show. It provides this incredible level of lightness that lets their root systems just take off. But just like our cactus mix, this one will need to be fertilized or replaced after a year or so to keep those nutrients topped up.
So, we've walked through the principles, we've met the ingredients, and we've looked at some proven recipes. But the real goal here isn't for you to just memorize these formulas. It's to give you the confidence to start creating your own.
And really, that's the whole idea behind Valerio Barbone's work. The point was never just to hand out recipes, but to give you the fundamental knowledge to understand why they work. That way, you can go out and confidently mix your own perfect substrates.
And that's exactly what you have now. You know the cast of characters, your lapilli, pumice, and perlite. And you get the core principles, that blueprint for success. You're ready to start building.
So, I guess that leaves just one last question. With everything you know now and thinking about the specific plants you have at home, what's your first custom mix going to be? The science is all yours now. Happy mixing!